Bells and Whistle Sport in association with Reginald's and Reginald's 3-1. I'm joined alongside Ryan.
What's happening? Ryan with the Lion, Team Fizz.
And Michael.
How you doing? You alright?
Thanks for joining me tonight, guys. Obviously, we're going to talk about boxing. A couple of weeks ago, you had Andy Joshua lost to RUIZ. Who'd have thought that? Massive shock in boxing. Him obviously going to Madison Square Gardens and being defeated and losing his belts. Guys, I'm going to start off with you, Michael. Yeah, what do you think of obviously what's happened since Joshua lost that fight? There's a lot of backlash, a lot of haters coming out, and that they wanted it to happen. So, what's your views on that fight?
Like it's funny, it's hard. That is the sport, you know what I mean? You put it all on the line and you're in the ring by yourself in front of everybody. When it all goes well, you get the glory. You're the one that reaps all the rewards and all the praise. And when it goes wrong, you're the one that's got to stand there and take it. And it is hard, and I feel for AJ in terms of how many people have turned against him. But in this game and in any sport, in life, when you put yourself at the forefront of everything, in front of everyone like that, you put yourself at risk for that. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure he's earned his money in the game. He's happy with what he's got. He could retire now and still still be proud of what he's done in the game. But now I feel like we're going to see how bad AJ wants it as a fighter. Because if he's got that hunger, given all the money, put the money aside, if he's still got that hunger to prove he's the best, then he's going to come back fitter, stronger, better, which I hope he does for himself, for English boxing, for heavyweight boxing, just for the sport in itself. It'll be exciting. But obviously it's exciting times just seeing where we go from it.
Yeah, thank you for that, man. So Ryan, obviously, there was talk of obviously that him having panic attacks and a concussion leading up into the fight. What are your views on that?
I think it's just all rumours, man. Everyone looks for an excuse when they lose. I mean, there's always something to blame on. But no, I think it just weren't his day. I mean, he came out, didn't look himself, and just had a bad day. It's a loss.
Yeah, I hear that, definitely. I mean, I believe, obviously, when you lose a fight, looking for excuses, he didn't really look for any excuses. I was a bit surprised by that. I thought he would have been saying, this and that, but he kind of played it down, so it is what it is. But I'm going to talk about a subject. Obviously, Tyson Fury came out recently and said that basically, if he doesn't win the rematch, he should retire. What do you guys think of that? Obviously, that he said he's not going to kick a man while he's down. Get me? He was saying, this and that. I thought he was going to let bygones be bygones and leave it at that. But when he done an interview with Coogan in Vegas, I was a bit surprised by that. I thought, this guy, get me.
Yeah, see, so I was surprised as well, but I was more surprised in the humble approach he took straight after the fight. I feel like that caught people more off guard because everyone's expecting him to stick the boot in and he didn't. But for me personally, Tyson Fury's my guy. I must admit, I love him to bits. He's outspoken, he says it how it is, and he backs it up with his boxing. And in terms of whether AJ needs to retire or not, that's another thing. But if he takes the rematch and he loses that, then he's got a long way back, if he can ever come back. But I'll be honest, my personal opinion, watching RUIZ, before the fight I didn't give RUIZ a chance, but watching the fight back and watching it over and over and over again, I think it's going to be hard for AJ to beat him. I think styles make fights, and I think RUIZ has got a style that's going to cause AJ problems 9 times out of 10. But it is heavyweight boxing, anything could happen, and like I said before, hopefully he does come back, maybe makes a few changes, comes back fitter, stronger, better, and gets the result.
What people don't realise, RUIZ is a good technical fighter. I mean, because of the size of him, he's short and fat, people underestimate him. But he's a good fighter. Yeah, and he's a heavyweight fighter. Anything can happen in heavyweight. They've all got power, so it just takes one punch. So yeah, man, full respect to him. I mean, people didn't see that coming.
Yeah, definitely.
He's crafty as a fighter as well. People look at boxing fans look deep within it. Within the boxing, within what goes on within the 3 minutes, about fighters setting up certain punches, doing things to avoid certain punches to get the fight going their way. Most fans obviously see punch speed, punch power, knockout that. But if you look deep within it, RUIZ is a very crafty and technical fighter. And I feel like everyone underestimated him, especially AJ. So obviously nice for AJ to hopefully make a difference, to come back and do something different. But yeah, RUIZ, fair play to him, got to take your hat off to him. I'm sure he's enjoying his Snickers now as well. He's been enjoying himself since the fight, so what will be, we'll have to see from there.
Yeah, I agree. Why not? I mean, obviously he's changed his life in it. Obviously he probably didn't have much money. Winning that fight now, it's catapulted him up there. Get me? Everyone's saying he's the best. Obviously now he's probably going to get a lot of money in the rematch if it does happen now. So obviously the first Mexican heavyweight as well. So he's made history. So regardless of what happens in the rematch, you get me? He's made history. So
he could be proud of himself, and he's left a legacy.
Yeah.
Like, even if he comes back and he gets knocked out in 3 rounds by AJ, that was one of the biggest upsets and shocks in boxing, and English fans especially will be talking about that fight for years to come. So he's made a name for himself.
You know, people don't understand it was a big opportunity for him. Where he's come from, there's no heavyweight champions there, so he's coming more hungry than anything. So yeah, he's got nothing to lose, and he's just getting giving it his all, and that's what happened.
Definitely, I agree. So moving on, obviously he had Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, made his return, knocked out Steve Rose. Wow, it's brutal. It was brutal, honestly. Like, when I saw that, I was like, wow, this guy possesses so much power in them hands. So obviously, what do you guys think of that fight? Well, it's brief, but
you know, Triple G is one of my favourite fighters, man. I love the way he fights and the overhand punches he comes with. He comes with different angles, and he's a solid fighter, man. That's why I always look up to him.
Yeah, same. Triple G, he's like a freak of nature, really. Alvarez made him look normal, but for me, Alvarez is pound for pound #1 best out there today. So to say that is still a credit to GGG. But in every other fight he's gone in before Alvarez, what he's done to him, do you know what I mean? He demolishes people. And the shots, like he said, some of the shots you can't teach a boxer to throw punches like that, and he somehow generates knockout power within them punches. So it's exciting to see where he goes with it. New trainer as well, so he's changed it up a bit. So maybe they get the Alvarez fight on. Or even Billy Joe Saunders. That's a massive fight. I reckon Billy Joe Saunders could be a banana skin for Triple G, because he's got the movement, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. Obviously, you know, I think no one wants to fight Billy Joe Saunders. They know he's a banana skin. Like, for me, obviously, he moves around the ring quite well. It makes you miss. It made Lemieux look, he made look average. Like, he made Lemieux look average out there in Canada. Like, so I don't think many people want to fight him. But obviously, it's Billy Joe Saunders. Who else do you want to see a Triple G maybe fight if he doesn't fight Canelo or Billy Joe Saunders?
Who else is there?
Middleweight, Alvarez, he's got to come up. He's got to come up. No,
could you reckon he could come up and fight Callum Smith?
Nah. Oh? Callum Smith's a killer. Callum Smith. Yeah, fighters need to come down to fight Callum Smith. He's super middleweight, he's different level. I think he's elite. I ain't even seen that. But
yeah, you see it? Yeah, he's done bits, man.
To work on it.
He stopped him, I think it's his first or second.
Yeah,
second
lost him out. He lost him out early, like, and then like the thing that I like about Callum Smith is that he's very good on the inside. For a guy who's got long arms and that, and he's quite tall, he's very good on the inside. I
tell you what, GGG Eubank made that fight happen.
That'd be a good fight.
Made that fight happen.
Yeah. I mean, Eubank's gone a bit quiet since he's winning against the teams ago. Obviously,
even before that, obviously the loss to Groves and that, he loses to people with movement, but he's on the inside. He's second to none. His hand speed, his punch power, he's ferocious. He's a fighter. I personally think he lacks certain basics, but he makes up for them in his rawness, in his hunger, like I said, on the inside game. But what better fight, what better test is there to go against someone like GGG that just wants to kill man on the inside, do you know what I mean? I think that's a great fight. That's a fight I would like to see.
Definitely. We're going to talk, I don't know if you guys watched it, obviously on the AJ undercard, you had Katie Taylor going for undisputed upcoming world champion. Obviously, that fight, I don't know if you guys watched it, but for me,
I haven't seen that. I hope it was close.
For me, I thought I think Person won that fight. Very controversial. Obviously, she was the aggressor, kept coming forward, landed some good punches. I think Katie Taylor was getting bullied, she leaned on her a lot, tied her up.
A couple people have said that, a couple proper boxing people have said to me they thought Katie Taylor lost it. They thought they'd give it to her, but they don't think they got it. But I heard there's an immediate rematch.
Yeah, there is. She said she's going to give her a rematch. She did say she's going to give her a rematch. I think after the fight, Person stormed out. No interview, nothing. Just stormed out. And I thought, for me, she knows she lost. She knows she won.
Yeah.
Everybody knew she won. People were booing. Even Carl Froch after comes out and said there should be an immediate rematch. So obviously, guys, do you think can that be a main event, or do you reckon it can be maybe another undercard?
It's a tough one because it's women's boxing, and since Katie Taylor over the last few years, women's boxing is coming up. It's becoming a big thing, and it is nice to see, especially for young girls in boxing, having people to look up to and aspire to. Me personally, I think female boxing lacks the excitement of men boxing. That's my personal opinion. I've got nothing against it. I'm all for it, and I'm a big fan of it. So in terms of it being a main event, I think it'll be hard to to have that magnitude of the last fight they had if they're just the main event. Obviously, being on the AJ undercard, heavyweight world titles, it was a massive fight. I think if they make that a main event, I feel like it might be on the show might not be as big. So I think to do them both credit, I think it'd be nice. Again, put them on a massive undercard, a big bill, on just before the main event. So they still got everyone out watching, everyone supporting, and then obviously this time round we'll see what happens. You know, if Katie Taylor can redeem herself, if she can do it again, or the other one could get her revenge.
Okay, we're going to talk about 2 more fights I want to coming up, or I'm going to be watching definitely. You got Daniel Dubois v Nathan Gorman, guys.
Yeah.
That fight is a big British. It's going to be a bust up. So who do you think is going to win that fight? And what's your predictions?
Yeah. I think Daniel Dubois, man. I seen him the other day, but he's a solid fighter, man. He's got power in both hands, so I think he's going to win by knockout. But I know it's going to be a tough fight. What round? Oof. Do you know, I think it's going to be an early one, man. I think it's going to be both just going at it from early. So I would say second round. Second round Dubois.
Second round Dubois, yeah?
I might be wrong though. I'm not saying second round.
Yeah, second round.
Too much.
I don't want to make a comment. I don't want to call it because I'll be honest. I haven't watched. Is it Gorman?
Yeah.
I haven't watched him enough. Like his fights, I've seen highlights, and obviously everyone's highlights look world class. Everyone looks world class in the highlights. I've seen his pads with Ricky Hatton.
Yeah.
Is that who he does the pads with? And his hands, he's got lovely hands. Boom, boom, slip, block, roll. He's got lovely hands. But obviously, same again. Everyone looks good on pads. Do you know what I mean? You've got a relationship with your coach. Even though I did see some moves that I think Dubois might not have in terms of technical ability, movement, and a nice flow and rhythm. But Dubois is a machine. He's going through people. You know, he's a knockout artist. He's hungry. I don't think there's many people at that level with that hunger that he's got. It's going to be hard to stop him. It'd be very hard to stop him. If Gorman stops it, if Gorman gets the win, fair play to him. But I think you got to side with Dubois, especially the fact that he's from round here. You know, what I mean, he's local boy. He's one of us. So
you're going knockout, yeah?
Got to be a knockout. He ain't there to get points with. He ain't.
Yeah. All right. I hear that. I'm not going to give no predictions, but I know who I think is going to win. But yeah, I'm not going to say no predictions. Get me? I'm going to sit on the fence. But
don't get splinters, yeah.
Now we're going to move on again. Obviously, got another big fight coming up. Dillian Whyte v Oscar Rivas. Obviously, I was surprised Dillian Whyte took this fight, but obviously WBC don't want to give him a world title shot for some reason. I don't know. Fans don't know either. But yeah, what do you think this fight? Who do you think this fight? Who reckons will win this fight?
I've always been. I'm not too sure. I've not seen that opponent, but I've seen Dillian Whyte fight a few times, and I know he's coming on a lot. I mean, I've used to watch him from years back, and he's picked up a lot, man. I don't know. I think Dillian Whyte, he will go far. I don't want to say too much, but he's gonna go to a certain level, and yeah, man.
So no banana skin for Dillian Whyte. You think he'll get through this?
Not just yet.
It's Rivas. Have you seen him box? Rivas. You seen him box?
I've seen clips of him. I don't know if he fought Pulev in. I think maybe in the amateurs. Yeah, but I've not seen too much of him.
Yeah,
but
same.
I think he was a cruiser. He's a cruiserweight, isn't it? It's cruiserweight. Yeah.
It might be another. What's the name? RUIZ. You never know, man. Anything can happen in boxing.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
It's hard to really say who you think is going to win. Like, you've seen so much of one person, so you're saying, yeah, that person. But you ain't seen what the opponent's coming with. So it could go any way, man. So yeah, you have to just wait and see on the night.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I mean, obviously, if he does win this fight, we all know who we want him to fight next. But who do you think he will fight next after this fight if he does win?
You know what? I would like to see him and Fury fight. Him and Wilder, any of them. That's one thing I love about Dillian, and I think the promoters and his team around him have got to do more to get him in the fights that he deserves. You know what I mean? Because he's coming behind AJ. AJ's had the hype, and he's been the you know what I mean? Everyone's going after him, and Dillian's done that. And Dillian has done everything that's asked of him since the AJ loss. He's cleaned up. Chisora, Joseph Parker. Who's the other one? Who did he knock out? No, that was Chisora knocked him out on the Dillian Whyte Parker undercard, innit? But you know what I mean? He's been there. And he's always, the level of opposition is up there. He's never been fed no journeyman to look good against. He's been thrown in, do or die. And he's sink or swim, and he's swum every time, you know what I mean? Every time he's come out and he's looked better. He's looked better against better opposition. So, It's hard because for me personally, I think Wilder and Fury, my personal opinion, I think Wilder and Fury are the elite. I think them two are up there, and I think the rest are just a bit behind. So I think Dillian Whyte stepping up to that level, I think he'll just fall a bit too short. I feel like Fury's too neat of a boxer. Wilder just got to land that right hand on your chin. You know what I mean? You could be winning 11 rounds, but it'd be nice to see get him back in the ring. AJ's got his own journey back. You never know. It'd be nice for them two to cross again. But I think Hearn's gonna keep him on his route. But it'd be nice to see White get one of them opportunities next. Definitely for a title fight as well.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, one more fight we're gonna cross. It's a fight coming up this weekend. It's for the IBF title. Josh Warrington v Kid Galahad on BT this weekend. Are you excited about this fight? Are you going to be watching this fight, guys?
Go on, start with it.
Yeah, do you know, I'm looking forward to that one. It's going to be a good fight, man. I used to watch Kid Galahad on, I think it was on Channel 5 years ago when he just started out. And Josh Warrington, I've been watching him recently. I seen him in his last fight and he's looking sharp. Do you know, I don't know which way that will go, man. I think Josh Warrington might be more hungry for it. Where Kid Galahad is more relaxed, more of a slick fighter. But I think the hunger's going to win it. But it's going to be a good fight, man. It's going to be explosive.
So, yeah.
What do you think of that?
It's a hard one. Me, I'll be honest again, going back to what I said before, I like to really, before I comment on a fight, I like to really understand the fight. I study the fight, I watch the fighter, not just for that fight, but follow his career to feel like I got an understanding of him before I comment on his boxing. And Galahad, I can't say that. Warrington, I've been watching a lot of Warrington's last few fights, and the performances are unreal. And me as a trainer, one thing a trainer loves the most is work rate. Do you know what I mean? You could have, what's the saying? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Do you know what I mean? Warrington's got talent, but the work rate is on a different level. You know what I mean? He's just steam training people. And his last few fights, that I was always a big fan of Frampton and what he done to Frampton, and then Lee Selby.
Before the fight, yeah.
So for me personally, I think it's going to be a tough night's work for Galahad. Galahad's got lovely ability boxing from what I've seen of him, but he's going to have to bring his A game. He's going to have to box to his best ability and pull out all his stops to get that win. I think Warrington's got it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Galahad's going to have to show a lot of heart in that fight as well, because Warrington's got a lot of heart. Like he's a lion heart. Yeah, definitely. I agree. So
as he got it in him.
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting fight. So guys, man, thank you for joining me today, man. Bells and Whistles Sport. Yeah, like I said, Ryan's going to be fighting soon. You got training in the corner, guys. Follow these guys as well on Instagram and Twitter as well. Get behind them. Get behind the British fighters. You're cool. Coming soon. So Bells and Whistles Sport. Follow us on all social media handles on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Ryan, you got something to say before you go?
Yeah, my next fight is on the 29th of June at York Hall, Bethnal Green. You can get tickets on my website, as you can see on the t-shirt, teamfizz.com. Just make sure it's going to be explosive, so don't miss out. It's going to be, I'm not going to say too much, but it's not going to last too long. So yeah, make sure you're there. Team Fizz.
You heard him. Lock in. Bells and Whistles Sport. Thank you for joining me.